here soon and see if switching the scene helps. Sometimes it does. I don't know. Well, we're probably live regardless at the moment. Regardless, I'm sorry about that. Not being able to see me. It's weird. But I'd rather people see you. It's a weird setup. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's just learning curve.
Yeah. Yesterday, my friend and I were able to connect just fine. I don't know what's up with my camera. So. But I can at least see you, and I guess that's the important part. I can switch back and forth, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there's no hurry, too, if you want to try and figure it out for a minute. I mean, we've got a couple of minutes. But like I said, nobody's ever I've been on a million of these things, man, and they're always late.
Maybe... I swear...
You selected the correct camera from your computer?
Yeah.
Sometimes... Okay.
Yeah, because I'm pressing the camera button and it's just not wanting to connect for some reason.
Weird.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, awesome. That's the important part. I mean, you're the guest, and I don't know if people want to see my mug anyway. So much, but maybe if I disabled the camera here on OBS, it might connect on Discord. What a bad first day. No. Yeah, they might have to live without my face, but that's all right. Just wish there was a way to work this. Because if I show up on, my scene, it's just fine, but...
Can you see yourself?
Yeah.
Weird.
But I don't see it. I don't see myself on the interview screen like I normally would.
Well, maybe YouTube will see you. You just won't see yourself.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, people can see you. That's the important part. Oh, look, I'm a little cornered there, so we're good.
Okay.
I can see myself. I can see you.
Okay.
So, I suppose let's get started, huh?
Yeah.
So, welcome to the show. I'm Foxx.
Are you going live on YouTube, or are you recording this and then posting it?
I'm live right now, actually.
On YouTube?
Yeah. On my Foxx Play Gaming channel.
Yeah, I'm not showing you live on here.
Weird.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm on your channel here just to see if it's gonna pop up. I don't see you're not live at all.
Huh. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. I can see it right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Foxx Play Gaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not my main Foxx Psycher channel at the moment, though. So.
Oh yeah, you're live. I see it now.
Good.
Yeah. What a good start.
You right?
Yeah.
learning
Okay.
curve.
All right.
So, welcome to the show, Fox Play Gaming. I'm super thrilled to have you on. I guess, introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Really appreciate you having me on, buddy. I know we've talked for a while, probably for over a year and a half, maybe more, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I've been following you since your Facebook days.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I think it's gone longer than that. So yeah. It's got to be almost 3 years then. It's been a while that we. Yeah, when you said you were gonna do a show and stuff, and you wanted somebody on, of course, I want to help out. So pretty happy to be here. I don't do YouTube anymore, as you know. Other than this, I've been making a living off of just being on shows now. So maybe that's my thing, I guess, from now on.
Well, hey, you seem to be certainly a celebrity. I saw you on the Rushmore show. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah, last night. Yeah, they contacted me. I think about a month ago or so, a month and a half before that anyone knew I was ending my channel, and they were like, "Oh crap! Well, now we probably won't get him on because he's quit YouTube." And I've quit my channel, but I haven't really quit YouTube. I mean, I'm still going to show up in people's videos. I've got videos that have already been filmed with other channels that are just going to release at some point. So I'm still going to pop up here and there. And YouTube's one of those things, it's like a living organism. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm still, I've had that Foxx YouTube channel for like 8 years now.
Yeah.
And I just imagined that it was all about like my niche, I guess, that I'm too diverse in what I upload, So I made this gaming channel. And
yeah, I think I caused a small bit of confusion when I was talking about you earlier on Instagram. I was like, yeah, he's only got like 300 something subscribers, but I was like, well, I forgot he's got this channel now to separate, to divide that. So hopefully, trying to get you some subscribers your way, just so people can see, because your stuff's pretty interesting. So,
well, I appreciate that. I've been trying my best with what I got and being consistent. Putting my best foot forward this year. Try to really kind of make it in algorithm space, I suppose.
Yeah, good luck, man. That's a tough nut to crack, man. YouTube is just, for me, I think it's just luck and consistency. Consistency is key. Like always post the same time, the same day, and try and just keep your content not too jumbled. That's only advice I can give. But other than that, man, it's a crapshoot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. Some days, are better than others, but I've been kind of burning the midnight oil at both ends.
Okay.
Uploading videos every day.
The show I was on last night, they're in the chat right now, the Rushmore. They said hello, and at some point, Foxx, if you want to reach out to them, they said they'd love to have you on their show as well.
Oh, that would be totally awesome. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's how it starts. and then after that, you'll just be doing all kinds of shows and.
Right.
Just keep being a good guy though. Don't change.
Right. I'll never change. Just how I am.
Yeah. Good.
Mainly, what I wanted to get out of this channel is just, when I go through my news feed on YouTube, especially during gaming, there's a lot of stuff on there that is just outright overly critical or, negative and things like that. And I'm kind of like, well, that's why I liked your channel so much. Because, hey, here's a guy who seems to genuinely love gaming and, doesn't seem to be all nitpicking every small little thing about him.
No, man, I don't at all. I'm pretty much one of the most laid back people in the universe. I can honestly say I wasn't always this laid back. But after a while, you reach a point in your life where you just gotta start living. You gotta stop being so negative and stop finding all the things that are wrong with life and start finding all the things that are great in life. And just, I don't know, it's a lot of things that I say on these shows or people I talk to, it always sounds to me in my head corny or cliche, but honestly, yeah, there's just no room right now for negativity anymore. I mean, you just some don't get me wrong, because some games I've played that I find are kind of, they could be stupid, or there's some things that I don't like about them. And I've said some stuff in my, when you listen to the vids I do, I've made some, low comments or smart aleck comments,
Yeah.
but I do that for the humor perspective of it, because that's another thing I want to do, is make people laugh. But yeah, I wasn't always this laid back guy, man. I just reached a point I was 45, and that was about almost 4 years ago. And I said to myself, man, it's time to readjust. And I've just been that way for the last 4 years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I just reached 42. So.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, you're getting up there.
Yeah. Old enough to be wise, but young enough to still have fun.
Yeah. I would say it gets better, but.
So, let's see. Trying to think at my mental notes. What drove you to be coming on the platform, do you think?
For YouTube? Well, as you know, since the Facebook thing sort of collapsed, the rug was pulled out from under me last December. I don't know why. I've never done anything, never had any violations before, and I was getting pretty close to 30,000 followers, and I was actually getting paid by Facebook Meta, and I was actually making a lot of money, believe it or not. I was making way more than I've ever made on YouTube, and I woke up on around December 7th, I think it was, last year, and said my page had been disabled. And I got one email from Facebook, and it was just violation of community standards, and that's all they said. No other explanation came with it. And I had friends. We were all trying to blow them up on Twitter, X, or Twix, as I was calling it, and trying to contact Facebook Meta, trying to contact so many emails. You can't get a hold of these guys, though, and it was just such a pain in the ass. And for me, being paid by them and making them money, essentially, you would think that they'd be like, hey, what do we do here? But at the end of the day, they didn't, no one gave a crap. And I tried making several pages afterwards. And I think I'm at a point now where I'm basically IP banned. They see my IP address and I'm flagged, I guess. I can't make an account at all. I've been trying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I didn't even do, after I tried to make a new Retro Rob page again.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. Yeah, I got shut down, I think, a month and a half into it. They shut me down, and it just said, disabled your page. This time, no reason. And so then I was like, okay, I'm done being Retro Rob on Facebook. I just want to have my friends and family. That's all I want. And then they took that from me after 3 months, and I'm like, okay. So I've given up on Facebook. But I'm on Instagram, which is hilarious because that's Meta, and I'm verified on Instagram. I couldn't get verified on Facebook. I tried, man. I tried forever.
Huh.
But I got verified on Instagram, and I'm doing great on Instagram. And so I'm like, it's just weird, dude. It's weird how the universe works. So.
I've had an Instagram for a long time, but I just never really used it. I never really tried, but I've been checking it out a lot more now.
Yeah,
since you've been on.
It's a good alternative. But when that page was shut down, I talked to a few friends, Scott from Game Closet, Jay from Square Pigs, a couple guys, that are out there doing YouTube, and they were like, dude, just do a channel. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be in front of the camera, because the beauty with Facebook is it was just the written word.
Right.
I put some great stuff, and I'm just behind the scenes. Nobody has to see my mug, And so I was like, I don't know, I want to be in front of the camera. And I did it. My first video was terrible. It was actually a tour of this game house, and the audio, I didn't know you had to adjust the audio levels. I thought once you adjusted it once, in the clip.
Right.
It carried all the way across, and it didn't. And so the music kept spiking up and down. And like sometimes you could hear me talking, sometimes you couldn't. And it got almost 4,000 views, and I was like, crap. Not only did it did pretty good, but it's terrible though. It's a terrible video, and people were commenting too about how they were like, wow, this is terrible. The sound is terrible, but they were still supportive. They were like, this is a cool house though. It's cool what you've got going on, and everyone was like really super nice about it. And I learned from that video, which we all do. We all learn from that first or second video.
Right.
And then, I made it a goal, though. I knew going into the channel I would never do this more than a year. I told my family before I started it, I was going to cut myself exactly a year because I never wanted it to get bigger than I could handle. And I never wanted to become one of those channels that had to start getting to a point where you're begging for views, which I'm not trying to jab at anybody specifically, but I can't do the thumbnails with I can't believe this happened, and then show like a shocked face or like, I can't do that stuff, man. So, and you know me, you've seen my channel before, like I don't even ask people to like or sub anyways. I just make a video and I just tell everybody, they're awesome, and then I head out. And so I couldn't become those other channels, and I couldn't be, because you're going to get to that point, and people can hate me for saying that, but you're going to get to that point where you're literally going to have to start to beg for views in some fashion. And I can't do that, man. It's like either you watch it or you don't. So,
yeah, that was one of the coolest things I liked about you is that you were never pressuring anybody to like your video or subscribe or anything. And you were always so modest, you're like, just a dude on a couch. What can I say, And hey, it works. I mean, it's actually kind of inspirational, because I hadn't been really too serious about YouTube before. So
right.
This year I'm really trying to go down for it, and get into the gaming niche. And
yeah, the only thing I can offer is for advice, like I said, is consistency, and just you gotta separate yourself from the herd, and to do that you gotta be different. Because if you go into this and start doing like, here's my top 10 Sega Genesis games, no one's gonna give a crap. There's like 300,000 probably videos out there, and that's a huge number. It's not like a real number, but there's probably so many Sega Genesis videos out there right now that you're gonna get lost, man. No one's gonna watch your stuff. So you gotta really like go think outside the box. You gotta think of original gaming format to like really get people to, and it's all about the thumbnail too. Like the thumbnail is really crucial because YouTube's either going to push in or they're not, and that's like your biggest draw right there. Is going to be whether they like it. And I always made it a goal for my thumbnails to make mine just look absolutely stupid. I could care less. Like they would just be the dumbest looking thumbnails, and they would either take off or they wouldn't. I could care less, man. So it depends on how you want to go into it,
Yeah. I was streaming on my main channel the other day, the new Dragon Ball game, Sparking Zero.
Okay.
And I got a comment in the comments, and he's like, I do thumbnails. Would you like me to run some thumbnails by you? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. And it's the same guy who made the thumbnail for this video and the thumbnails I sent you, and it's worked out pretty well. I like that part of it though, even though I paid for it, but it's like, I like the collaboration, and I think that's what I really want to do the most, just talk games with people and hang out and show the positivity and the love for the industry, I suppose.
Good, yeah. I mean, as long as you've got a clear idea what you want to do, and like there's really nothing that's going to stop you. I mean, it's the only person can stop you is you. So
yeah. So I've been consistent. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been too worried about views or subscribers. I mean, I got 25 so far since I started a month ago on this particular channel. So
okay,
I think that's pretty good, especially with some videos getting like, some hundreds of views. sometimes, which doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people. But I'm like, hey, people watch my stuff,
Yeah. 100 views is a lot, man. Don't ever think that it's not. Even 50 views, you got to look at it like this, man. There's 50 people somewhere in their living room with your face on their TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're in like 50 to 100 people's homes. Like they're watching you, and it's not small potatoes, man. Any views you get is a victory, and never be discouraged. You've got the potential to do whatever you want, man, and that's the beauty of this platform. But again, the key is separating from the herd, because gaming right now is just a saturated. It's a beaten horse,
It is. I'm trying to target like more like the more passionate fan bases. Like, the reason why I've been uploading so much Dark Souls content is because a lot of people aren't doing the Return to events. I don't know if you ever heard of those, but
yeah.
The
Dark Souls is brutally hard. Those are brutally hard games.
I love them though.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
But there's a fire in that fan base. I just want to be involved in that, because Souls-likes are a really good fan base to get into discussions anyway, positive or negative, but shooting for the positive.
For sure. Other thing too, if you're not sure or familiar with, is when you do your videos and you make in the description category, make sure you utilize hashtags too.
Right.
Okay, just I don't know a lot of people know that or not, but the hashtags in the description are pretty key as far as YouTube will get a better sense of where to push that video.
Right. How many do you think you should add?
I mean, you don't have to go. I've seen some people do like 20-some hashtags. I don't think you got to go that nuts. I'm a superstitious person, and so I use the same 10 hashtags from the one video I had that actually took off. The one that actually was like super successful. I use those same hashtags from that video, and then I just stayed with those hashtags for every video.
Well, hey, I'll take that advice, and other people might be watching too who might want this advice too.
Yeah,
YouTube's
if it works, dude, don't change it.
Yeah, YouTube's a rough racket, but
yeah.
Let's see. I remember watching that you on the podcast or whatever yesterday that you were writing a book.
Yes. So I've got some notes down right now. I'm waiting till April. April's when I'll have a little more free time. Right now, I'm currently I'm acting, which is weird. I got a part in a play here in the local theater, and I'm going to try and focus on that with no distractions. And then mid-April, the show ends, and then I'm going to start putting what I've got down on my notes, like actually on the computer. And we'll see how it goes. Like everything I do in life, I was telling the guys last night on the show, like I have no idea what I'm doing, man. I never know what I'm doing.
Right. Always something though, right? I mean, and that does sound like a lot of fun, acting.
Yeah, I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone this year. 2025 is going to be like me just doing more, as I referred to on the Rushmore last night. I'm kind of like, I'm doing side quests at this point in my life. And so I'm trying to do all these side quests and see what all I can accomplish before I die, basically. Because you only get one crack at this, man. And as much as I love video games and sitting here in this house, I don't want to be sitting here, until I die. I want to see all I can experience.
Right.
And document. I'm documenting as much of it as I can, because whether that book comes out or not, which it will, I never quit on anything. At least I have a lot of documented video footage of stuff that I do, and my kids or whoever can watch and see, like, hey, this guy lived, man. So,
well, yeah. I've been watching you for quite a while. In fact, I was like one of the first 100 subscribers. I'm like Retro Rob on YouTube. The dude was made for this, almost. So,
thanks. Yeah.
I've seen you go to conventions and meet all kinds of different people, and I was kind of like, wow, that's got to be the coolest.
Yeah, it's been last year was an amazing year. I had a really good time. I was invited as a guest to a lot of them as well, and I turned them all down. I don't want to be chained to a table. Like, I feel like I don't want to be at a zoo where people come up to me. And so I turned down being a guest at the expos. I just wanted to be amongst where the real people were, which is in the crowd. And I wanted to shop and I wanted to buy games. And during that time, I would see other YouTubers and we'd talk, and they'd be like, "Hey, can I film with you for a few minutes?" And I made a lot of great connections, and it was everything I hoped it would be, and the catalyst for what this whole YouTube social experiment was to see how far I could get into the gaming community. Just as regular nobody dude on the couch, just getting out in the real world. And, I've exceeded my goals. I mean, I've met beyond the people I ever thought I was going to be, and I've been in videos on channels I never thought I'd ever be in. And I got to a point where I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, I can definitely go do something else. So, and that's what I'm doing. I wouldn't say that my channel will be dead forever. But right now it is at the moment. It's just, I've just got other stuff I want to focus on.
Yeah. You did say it wasn't going to last forever. I just, I didn't believe you.
I dropped a lot of hints. I dropped a lot of hints in videos all the way back from like the third month into doing this. I'm like, I would always drop little things like, like you said, I won't be doing this forever, or this can't last forever, or something like that. Or even when I made posts on Instagram promoting a video, I would drop little hints, and I don't think anybody really bought it until it happened, and they were like, "Oh man." That makes it fun too, It makes it fun. It's almost like I pranked the entire gaming community.
Oh man, it was kind of like, I mentioned this in my video before, but I was like, it was kind of like a rock star moment, like, where the rock star is about to go up on stage and everything, and he just bails. Almost. Yeah, kind of feels like it was a cool moment like that. So I thought that was a cool thing.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't, you know me, man. I don't consider myself cool or whatever, or any kind of like rock star or anything like that. Like I said, I'm just a normal guy, and I'm enjoying life, and I'm enjoying, hanging out with people like you right now. And even if I was even bigger of a channel than I am right now, man, nobody is beneath me. I'm not above anybody. Like, I love people, man, and this is what the community and stuff like this is all about. So
yeah, you're a very friendly and easy talk to guy, I think.
Yeah, I'm a loser.
Well, maybe I am too. No, just kidding. You said I was cool, so I felt cool. No.
You are cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm friendly and supportive.
What's that?
I'm friendly and supportive.
Yeah. No, you have been. Yeah, I can't. I completely forget about Facebook sometimes. I just remember the majority of the year and a half that we talked during YouTube and just a little before YouTube. So I forget that Facebook page was around for a long time. So
yeah, those were good times though. I mean, I liked checking Facebook just to see you on my newsfeed. Or see what retro believers are all talking about and discussing in the comments, and you do bring in a good crowd, I gotta say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love you. I called everybody the retro believers. I got that. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Chase. He's been one of my closest friends during all this YouTube right now, and it's funny because we've only just become good friends over the last couple months. But he's got his own channel on YouTube. Chase Brogan. He was a retro gaming guy, but I was talking to him, and I think some people thought that the retro believer thing was like a religious thing or something. But I stole it from Stan Lee. Stan Lee would call everyone true believers, and I loved it so much that I thought since I had the retro thing. So yeah, Retro Believer was spawned from Stan Lee.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, I love Marvel, so I kind of got the ref, but
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You're getting an exclusive because I've never told anybody that on any show yet. I've just only told Chase in a text. That's it. So you're getting the exclusive video of where Retro Believer comes from.
Oh, awesome! I love it.
Well, no one's asked, so.
And well, hey, there's always the first time, right?
I loved Facebook though. I love for that reason though. I loved interacting with everybody, man. I would comment back to everybody. But a lot of people don't know is that it took my whole day, and I would do it like 7 days a week. I would sleep from 1 a.m. till 9 a.m, and as soon as I was up at 9, having coffee, I was on my phone from 9 in the morning until I went to bed. And I was on the phone the entire time answering everybody. I would never leave anybody unanswered because I think it's disappointing when you have a public page or you have a public channel, but you don't interact with the public. And I don't like knowing that people aren't heard. Like they say something, they want to be heard. And it feels dismissive if you don't acknowledge that. And I know it's hard, and I know... And I'm not, this isn't a jab at other channels or stuff like that, because I know it's hard. It's hard to do something like that. But I made it work. And I had, like I said, almost close to 30,000 followers, and I answered everybody. And granted, it wasn't 30,000 people a day, but it was up there. It was in the thousands. I know that. It is possible to be kind and to manage something that you really love if you really want to. So,
right.
Yeah, I miss it some days, but other days I'm like, God almighty, man. I would be everywhere. I'd be at the store, and I would be like answering somebody like I'm trying to shop. After a while, I'm like, I'm just consumed with this. So it's kind of a blessing, I think, sometimes that it was disabled.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, even on the channel I just started now, I have been streaming nearly every day, and then I've been clipping those videos and, making sure everything's uploaded to everything. And it is a lot of work. A lot of people don't know just how much effort goes into it and how much time. And I'd love more engagement. So if anybody wants to comment at any time, I would definitely love to reply to as many people as possible.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, it takes time for sure, especially if you're hitting all the social medias and if you're uploading shorts or you're trying to make content on the side too. Like it can be pretty consuming. Even me doing 2 videos a week, I mean, that took a lot of time. I would probably only get like maybe Saturday or Sunday to kind of play video games and screw off or whatever. But even then, I was still thinking about making Tuesday's vid already. So I felt like I was always worried about the next video. And that was another reason why I set a goal for a year, because I don't want to be like worried every week of what I was going to put out. So
right.
Luckily it worked out.
That's really relatable, though. I mean, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I know. You get it. You definitely get it.
Yeah. I'm so glad that the return to Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls is over, because that was a long 2 weeks of streaming every day.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was setting myself up to beat the game within that 14 days and to space it all out and plan ahead. And it took a lot of my time, especially to clip it and stuff. I'm still trying to figure out what to do, but I figure if I stream and clip it, I'm making 2 separate videos, more chances.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Speaking of books, I actually do write books for a living. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I've got 3 books out right now. I only got like 2 of them right now on me, but Entity of the Wood.
What's that?
Entity of the Wood.
Okay.
And Ruins of the Eastern Sands. They're really big books. Like, they're almost comic book sized books that are just 400 some pages each. But
I'm looking down at the screen on my phone, so I'm watching you show it up to the camera there. That's awesome. That's really incredible, man, that you did that.
Yeah. I decided to just put myself out there, and it tracks okay, I suppose. I'm a little modest, though. Like, I don't like pitching my books, you know?
Yeah, that's how I am, yeah. I get it.
Yeah. But I do really enjoy writing. And yeah, I guess I pitched it now, huh?
Yeah, there you go. It's too late. Now you gotta post it on Instagram, and then I'll share it.
Yeah. I'll post the link to the website I made and everything. And
dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I like writing, and I like, well, all kinds of things, really. Gaming, and I've done art over the years, commission work, but it was a tough market to get into that.
You're a Renaissance man, that's what you are.
Yeah, I'm great at all the things that don't make money. Almost, you know, but
well, I mean, as long as you're happy, dude.
Yeah, I make enough to get by, and to live comfortably. So I'm happy either way. This YouTube thing is kind of a side thing, but I want to have more discussions like this, with people. And it looks like I'm probably going to be set, huh? Now.
Rushmore. Those gents, dude, are stellar, man. Top notch folks, man. Super kind. That's a good place for you to be on there, and you can talk more about your stuff. And don't be afraid when you're on the show to, talk about your books, plug your stuff in the beginning. Like that's just what it's all about. I know you're modest, but at the same time, people should see what you're doing. You know what I mean? You don't want to keep it hidden forever, and then it's discovered when you're gone, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
And I started with a series, which probably wasn't the best of ideas, as far as the novels go. And then I see on Facebook advertisements too for everybody else's series on book series and everything, and I'm like, oh great, I got more competition there too.
Oh yeah, no matter what you do, man, you're gonna have competition no matter what you do.
Yep. But regardless, so let's see. All right, let's talk. What's your favorite console?
Oh man. I'll have to. I always give this one it's not considered a console, so I always get a little flack for it. But to me, it's a console because it was the first we could afford as a kid, and it was the Game Boy. I got it in just a little after it came out. We couldn't afford systems growing up. Couldn't afford the Nintendo or Sega Master System at the time. I had friends who had it though, so it was cool. I could go to their house and check it out. But my mom, I remember, they scraped together some money. My mom literally she handed me the Game Boy at the store, and I was just floored by it. I couldn't believe we could afford it. We couldn't get any games, so I had Tetris, and I became this Tetris master. I played Tetris for months. I mean, that's all I had. Months and months. I saw every ending. I beat all the hardest levels. It was amazing. And so I hold it dear to my heart. And as you know, when I had that Facebook page, that's why my symbol was the Game Boy. And when I started the YouTube channel for a while there, the little Game Boy symbol was in there as well. It just means so much to me. And so yeah, forever will be my favorite handheld. It's console.
Well, that works. I think I was 7 or 8 Christmas morning, and I got my first Game Boy system. I got the Nintendo as well, but that Game Boy was the hot ticket item that year, because
Oh yeah, dude, it was. Oh man, it's amazing. I still think about the days of just like laying in my bed and playing it, and just like at the time, the screen wasn't an issue for me then, but playing it now in your 40s, you're like, God Almighty.
Back then, you were just happy to game on the go.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was used to Tiger LCD handhelds. I would get those.
Yeah.
My parents could buy me like one or two of those. And when you're a kid, those things are fantastic because your mind, like, you see those graphics as like, you're playing Castlevania. You are Simon Belmont moving across those little bricks and hitting your whip across like it's a monster and stuff. And like, but I play it now and I'm like, but that beeping noise and everything, and you're just like, oh man, dude. Crazy what the child's mind is like compared to the adult one.
Yeah, when I was a little bit older, I would say about 10, I did get a Zelda gaming watch that you could wear around your wrist and play.
Yeah. Those were Nintendo made those, right? Nintendo, like a series of them?
Yeah. I got in trouble at school for playing on it. So they took it till the end of the year, and then we moved, and I never got it back. And
oh my god!
Yeah,
dang!
I was supposed to be in timeout.
That teacher made like $200 on eBay like 2 months ago, probably.
Right? Like I would have liked to kept that. I've moved so much over the years, though. I've lost. Yeah, sorry. I moved on so much.
Yeah, I still collect some of those things. I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles talking LCD watch, but I gave that away as a gift to the Gibbs, her channel. I gave that to her in South Carolina. But recently, I just got two Dick Tracy watches. One is just a communicator watch, but the other one actually is like the LCD game on the watch of Dick Tracy. So, and it's never been open. So those have been my two recent finds lately. I appreciate the old LCD stuff a lot.
Oh yeah, I got the newer Zelda Game & Watch that Nintendo released like I think a year or two ago.
Yep, yeah.
Those are pretty cool.
And then I got the European version as a gift from my friend Gene from Caps Off Gaming. You know him, I think.
Yeah, I do know Caps Off Gaming. I've watched the stuff before.
He gave me the European version as a gift. So I had both now, the American and European. But the European one's in the box because I don't need two out of the box,
Right.
Yeah. So what would you say your favorite console is then? Is it the Nintendo then because of?
It's hard to say. Like, if I had to choose, like, throughout all the years, I would probably say PlayStation 4, to be totally honest. Oh. I mean, I do like retro consoles, and I've always have loved them, each and every one I've had, but the PlayStation 4 was the first time I felt like I was in the future of gaming. This is where it was all leading up to, We're finally getting those graphics, the online play, and I don't know. It's just how I feel. Plus, it's fun to collect for even now today. I mean, lots of great games on PS4.
Yeah, no, that's a solid system. I've told some friends before if I only had to have one console for the rest of my life, I would probably take like the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, one of those ones. I think those libraries were absolutely the best ever. You're going to find everything you could ever want in those libraries, and I think you'd be just satisfied. So,
I do consider that era rather peak for gaming.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like they were neck and neck, Xbox and Sony back then.
Yeah. There's no divide in my house. I don't pick one over the other. I think that's so silly. Like people who pick Ford over Chevy or whatever. I don't get into that garbage, dude. You just like what you like, man. And then the bowl's big enough for everybody. So
yeah, I like Xbox. I don't have a lot of them. Like I don't have a lot of games, but I do, got the Game Pass and everything, and I have played a lot of Halo 2 back in the day with my friends. It's weird to say back in my day, at my age, you know. My grandpa used to tell me about, you know, the radio shows he used to listen to and how TV spoils us. You know?
You're going to be that one day, except you're going to be talking about Halo
2. Hey, you know, my kid, you know, he watched me play some retro games on the NES Classic system, you know, and he goes kind of like, how could you guys play those games? Like, how can you even bear it? They're tough. They're, you know, and it's hard to explain. Yeah. And I caught myself going like, well, back in my day, this was all we had. And, you know, like, it's weird. I used to say, like, you know, whatever, Grandpa, you know, but now he's kind of like, whatever, Dad.
That's good, though. At least you're teaching them. You're showing them the ropes.
Yeah. I remember a time before the internet, you know. It's wild for him to think about.
When the telephone would scream through the phone at us.
Yep.
Yeah, my kids have a good appreciation for retro for the most part. My oldest son, he's 17, and he's really big into Halo, and he's been replaying all the Halo games from the beginning. My middle son was obsessed with Gears of War, so he played all the Gears of War games with me. And then my daughter, weirdly enough, is a big beat-em-up fan. She likes beat-em-up games, so if she wants to come here, you know, and play Streets of Rage or whatever, I'm all for it, man. And she just really gets into it.
Yeah, my son's 13 and he's into FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, and the Fortnite. So
Fortnite, yeah. I have played Fortnite with my kids because they're like, Dad, come on, just play like one game. Sometimes I do good, and like I'll annihilate a few people, and then it's kind of cool for them to see that Dad's actually a good gamer. But then other times I'm like, this game's stupid. Like I shot this guy like 3 times. It's not. I don't know. It's not as realistic as like Battlefield or Call of Duty. So
right.
But I gotta remember that when I play it, that this is basically it's supposed to be just a fun kids game and not an actual tactical, like, you know, first-person shooter.
Yeah, it is quite different. Yeah. I do think it's cool, though, in a way. Like, at first I was super critical of it, because everyone was. But
oh, yeah, we all were. Yeah, we're like, this is stupid.
Watching my son and then getting involved with him so we could, you know, play together. It's a great way to do that. I got another Switch so we could.
Yeah.
And we play a lot of Fortnite, and I thought it was like, what other game can you play as like Iron Man and like Rick and Morty and, you know, Master Chief and Goku and all these like what other game can you do that in? Like, I can't even think of any, you know?
Yeah, that has that many variety of characters.
Yeah, so there is something there and special about the meta that is Fortnite. So I appreciate it for what it is, and it does have a lot of modes to play, at least.
Yeah. It keeps it somewhat, I guess, refreshing.
Yeah. But lately, I've been collecting a lot of PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it's a solid library, I'm telling you. I'm a big fan of that generation of games, so...
Yeah, I just got Heavenly Sword, which was, I think, a launch title. I think. But
what would you say? Is that your favorite genre, those types of games? Are you trying to find balance and everything?
As a gamer, I kind of like a little bit of everything, you know, as long as it's good.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. Do you do sports games or no?
Occasionally, like I like playing.
I'm not going to judge you or anything. I'm just curious. A lot of people.
No, I got Madden 13 for the PS3, and I enjoyed that a lot because the Seahawks were big that year.
Yeah. Are you a Seahawks fan?
I have friends that are Seahawks fans, so yes, I'm a Seahawks fan in case if any are watching or anything later.
You're casual. You're kind of you chime in when they're good, and if they're not, you're like whatever.
I'm kind of just one of those people who are like, go home team, got to root for that.
I gotcha. Seahawks, man, I like that. So you're in Washington then? I've never even asked you that.
Yeah, I live in Everett, which is, I don't know, 30 miles from Seattle, I suppose, or plus.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's a little ways, but...
I spent a lot of time in Washington. My best friend from the military, he used to live out in McCleary, Washington. And so I go visit him usually once or twice a year out there. But now he lives in Hawaii, so which is awesome for me because I still go visit him, and I visit him in Hawaii. Nothing against, I love Washington, don't get me wrong, but man, is there something about Hawaii?
Oh, yeah. Washington definitely isn't Hawaii, but...
I spent a lot of time in Seattle, though, and I'm a big fan of that area. I mean, I'm wearing the Sub Pop hat tonight, so...
I like Seattle area, I suppose. I like the concerts I go to and the hockey games and, various other events that I get invited to by friends. Because at the end of the day, it's not how much money you have, it's who you know.
No, absolutely, yeah. And if you got, man, if you know some people, man, take advantage.
Oh, yeah. I got to see, what was it? Well, I got to see Metallica as well earlier that year, but I recently, gosh, my mind's just blanking right now for that. I'll remember later, I'm sure, and shoot myself in the foot.
You can text me at 3 a.m.
Oh, Iron Maiden. That's who it was. I can't believe I forgot. I saw Maiden. I finally saw Maiden, and it was awesome.
Oh, I'm sure, man. You know who Gabbo the Giver is, right? From Pixel Game Squad?
Maybe.
He's a huge Iron Maiden fan.
Oh, really?
And he also just recently went to see them in concert like a couple months back. So, yeah, a huge Iron Maiden. So,
I've always liked them, and my friend was like, "Do you want to go see this concert to see Maiden?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, who wouldn't? Even if I didn't like them, who wouldn't?"
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been to a concert in I don't know how long. It's been a long time since I've been to one. I'm all over with music though. Like I listen to just about everything. So.
But yeah, as far as games go, anyway, I just like everything, almost like every genre. But I especially like the action RPGs and role playing games the most, I would say.
Yeah, I tend to navigate towards those like in the evening time when I'm trying to like wind down a little bit. But for the most part during the day, if I'm gaming, I'm a big like adrenaline. I like FPS and like driving. Those are my first go-tos, and then anything action at that point. So or a good platformer. But at nighttime, I find I don't like to get too revved up if I'm trying to go to bed like a half hour later or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if you're in the first-person shooters, have you been playing that new Black Ops 6 then?
No, I'm gonna wait. My backlog is so huge on games right now that like when new games come out, I tend to just not get them or play them because by the time I have time to get to them, they're gonna be like $10 at the store. Then I'll get it.
Yeah.
I've only made 2 exceptions on recent releases where I was like, I have to have this game day one because I'm a huge fan, and it's RoboCop, when RoboCop Rogue City came out.
Yes.
And then the new Indiana Jones. I had to have the new Indiana Jones. Like, there was no way I could go without that. And then, weirdly enough, Hogwarts Legacy, I got that day one. Yeah. And that was like my favorite game last year. Like, that was my game of the year last year.
Oh, yeah?
I was embarrassed to say it out loud, but...
Well,
like it's Harry Potter, grown man.
I haven't beat it yet, but I did get it rather early too, and I do enjoy playing it. But me too, I got a lot of backlog games to go through, and the Elden Ring DLC came out and stuff, and Hogwarts Legacy kind of just took a backseat a little bit.
Yeah, sure, I get that. Yeah. I've got a stack in the back here of games I've been finishing. I've been doing really good, actually. I've been focusing a lot on finishing a lot of titles. Right now, the current one I'm working on is Fear.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those games where, there's a lot of jump scares in there. And then on top of that, there's people that are trying to end you that aren't supernatural. So you're dealing with that, too. And, so everything, there's always a scare going on. And I'm like, it's intense, man, but I'm loving it. It was recommended to me by Brandy from Gamer Aimer, her channel. She's like, you got to get into the Fear series. And I was like, all right. And when I was in Arkansas, I went to Retro Rick's, his store,
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if I'm in this store, dude, I'm going to see if I can find some of these games from my list from everybody that's telling me to buy these games. And sure enough, he had Fear at a pretty good price, so I bought it.
Right on. I always wanted to visit his store. I probably will one day.
Well, if you go down there, let me know, because I'm only 5 hours from there, so.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome store, man. I lumped his store, though, into the expo footage. I just made it one big video, because everyone and their mother goes down there and makes a Retro Rick's game point video.
Right.
And, dude, if you haven't seen his store by now, just look it up on YouTube. And there's 30, 40 videos of it at least, of just the same footage of people panning around.
Oh man, there's several times I'd be watching your videos, especially when you'd be cruising wherever you're at, whatever store or whatever, and I'm like, ooh, that's a game on my list.
Oh, nice.
Here, we only have really the one retro store, so I'm stuck with Amazon most of the time.
Oh, no, you should never buy your retro from Amazon, man.
Yeah. Well, at least I can get renewed. Man. I got to road trip more and go to those, stores more, but...
Yeah, get on off beaten path, man. Look up those mom and pop shops out there in the sticks, dude, and they'll negotiate, and they usually have fair prices too. They won't be going off eBay and stuff. You gotta get. That's what I do, man. I get out. I try and travel around the different states that are close by and game hunt that way. I never go online if I can avoid it ever.
Some games are harder to find than others, especially in the wild, but.
I know, yeah.
I'd love Folklore for PS3. I would love that game. And then 3D Dot Game Heroes is another one, which is an older From Software title that isn't, Dark Souls or Demon Souls or whatever.
Well, we gotta start getting you to go some of these expos in. Because, dude, and I went to Siege in South Carolina, and I'm not kidding, man. That place was like an airplane hangar. It was just full of games. If you couldn't find that game,
I remember that video too.
Yeah, dude. It was, I walked around. It was so big, I would forget where I saw something, and then I would start asking some of my friends. I'm like, hey, do you remember seeing this? Blah blah blah, and they'd be like, oh yeah, it's 8 booths this way and 10 booths over there, and I'm like, I still wouldn't find it. It was massive, dude. Yeah, these expos they're getting bigger and bigger, and it's just some of them are, are a little overwhelming. I actually preferred Retro Rick's because it was a lot smaller and it had a huge variety of everything you could think of. But yeah, Milwaukee and Siege and MGC and Siege are the biggest ones I've ever been to, and they were just absolutely overwhelming. You really got to be on some anxiety meds to just kind of navigate. So many people, dude.
Oh yeah, there was actually an event in Everett not that long ago. Well, I say not that long ago. It was like last summer, I think. But
Okay.
there was a YouTuber there. I forget his name now, but it was pretty neat. I mean, I walked around and looked at stuff, and I paid to get in, and wandering around, and I just like kind of, I couldn't find anything that was like, within my budget at the time,
Okay.
So sometimes, 100 or, less is usually my stopping point. And some of these games that I wanted were quite a bit more.
Yeah.
And I might be a little too shy to haggle too.
For people watching that are going to go to expos too, don't forget that a lot of these expos, a lot of the vendors, they'll take trade too, and they negotiate better if you have cash.
Is there a lot of people who like wander around with like a bag of games to trade?
Oh, absolutely. Shoot, there's people who make videos doing it too. There'll be videos of them pulling out games and trading and making good content about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like, what is it, Phoenix Resale or whatever?
Yeah.
And but I always kind of found him a little scummy in a way, because he'd be there before everyone else and buy up a lot of like Game Boys that were Pikachu based or whatever, so nobody else could.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a nice guy though. I met him a couple times, and it's just the nature of the beast for them. I mean, that's their living. So a lot of people hate them as resellers, but
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I didn't mean to judge him.
Oh, no, I know. But I get that, like, you hear a lot about those resellers, and they get, I wouldn't say a bad rap, but it's what they do, you know what I mean? It's like they're making a living off of that, and I personally don't buy from resellers. I try and go out there and get stuff myself. I can understand what, doing what they're doing. I couldn't do it myself. I just don't, I'm too nice, man. I mostly just give crap away. I'm like, you can just have it. I'm done with the game. I was at a game store the other day in my town here. I'm friends with the manager, and I always like, once I beat all these games, I usually don't keep them because I'm like, I doubt I'm really ever going to play these a second time through,
Mm-hmm.
So I always get a big stack, and then I bring them into my local store here. And there was like 3 games on there that or 4 that the store they can't take them back for whatever reason. They just can't buy them back. They're just not allowed to. And there was this kid standing there. I was like, hey, man, you want these games? And he was like, yeah. And so I just gave them away.
Made his day.
Oh, yeah, dude. He was like super excited. He probably was excited about all of them except for one, which was Eminem kart racing. And that was in my terrible games video.
Yep. I remember that.
I literally told him, I'm like, dude, you're gonna burn this game, I guarantee it. But he was psyched. He's like, no, he's like, I'll love it. He's like, I'll play all these. I'm like, all right. I guarantee he played that Eminem game and he probably smashed everything. It's one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life. And I literally only had to play it because of that stupid video I made.
I haven't really played too many terrible games. I mean, I have, but I mean, I don't usually focus on them too much,
Yeah.
And I've only had really 2 regret buys, in the last 5 or so years. And one of them was just because of how the launch was Battlefield 2042. I don't know if you played that one.
Yeah, dude, everybody hated that game.
Yeah. Man, at launch it was so glitchy and everything, and it was just like a nightmare to get on sometimes. And
oh, it was god awful. Yeah, it was terrible, man. You were right to not like that game, my friend.
And it was my first Battlefield. I was thinking, like, this is my doorway in, the newest, greatest one, right?
Oh, no.
And then people are like, no, you got to play Battlefield 1 or 3, like, not this one.
My favorite's 4, and that's just because when I was stationed in Alaska, I had a solid core of friends, and we'd get on Battlefield 4 every night. And I love hopping in vehicles, and I especially love if the vehicle has a turret, and then I just lay waste to everything in my path. So Battlefield 4 is always my favorite. I think most of the beginning ones are pretty amazing. But it just sucks, dude, that you 2042, man. That was your first foray into that.
Right. It wasn't a good first impression, I tell you that. I remember specifically the first time I played, I was in an airplane and it just nosedived underneath the map.
It glitched right through it?
Yeah. It flew straight through it. And I tried to eject, which apparently ejects everybody or ejected everybody else or left him in there. I just left him under the map. It was kind of hilarious. I should have streamed it.
Yeah, or at least took a screenshot or something of it.
Yeah. I got, I do have some glitch footage of Battlefield 2042 on my main channel, but.
Yeah.
But, it also took a long time for new content to be added. I was tired of the drip feed after like season 3. We were only getting like 1 or 2 new maps every season, but they sure had a lot else you could buy, kind of like COD these days.
What was the other game?
Modern Warfare 2, the most recent one.
Oh. Which one? The
new one.
Yeah, okay. It was like a remastered version.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really remastered. I would say it was more like a continuation of Modern Warfare 2019.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that game was terrible too. I remember getting it too, and then downloading into like the Xbox, even though I bought the disc, and then the disc. That's also what irritated me is the disc was worthless. It was literally just a download, like a digital download.
Oh yeah, I hate that stuff. Yeah. I made the mistake of getting the deluxe bundle or whatever, the digital bundle.
Yeah.
And
goodies with it?
I got some skins with it and stuff, but I never really saw the value in it. You know, I don't really like digital.
There's none. There's none enough. But I get you, man.
And at first,
and then you can get it later if you wait a few months, man. It's borderline free, so just wait it out.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of modern gaming is you just gotta wait it out. And so while you're waiting it out, just play your backlog.
Yeah. I kind of wish I knew that sooner, but you know, I used to play Black Ops 2 a lot and Black Ops 1. So I wanted to get the latest COD to see what was shaking. And it'd been a while, and I like multiplayer myself. So, but the way it was structured is that Warzone was taking all the content. Basically, whenever they added anything, it was for Warzone, the Battle Royale mode. And I'm like, well, I can just play Fortnite for Battle Royale.
Yeah. And what did you think of the newest Call of Duty then? You said you played 6, right?
I have played a little bit of Black Ops 6, but I mainly stuck to zombies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Zombies is always fun, no matter where you cut it from, you know. But
yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I'll play that more than I'll play the campaign. But I love to play the campaigns though. And once I finish them, then the only selling point of going back to those games is the zombies that they have it. So
yeah, I told myself I wouldn't buy another COD until things change, but I do play it on Game Pass.
We've all told ourselves that lie, though.
Yeah.
And I still bought all of them, so. But I'm the same, dude. I'm like, I'm not getting another one for it. And then I'm like, 2 months later, I buy it.
Well, at the beginning, I didn't mind playing it, and I got the Battle Pass the first season, but then they added a Black Cell Battle Pass that was like the premium Battle Pass now. So now it's not just $10 to unlock everything. You got to pay an additional $30.
Oh my god, yeah, forget that.
And I'm like, I can't. No.
Yeah. I'm too cheap for stuff, man. Yeah, I get it.
I found a home in X Defiant for a little while it was still live. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. Ubisoft's first-person shooter.
X Defiant?
Yeah. It's free to play. I don't know if you can still play it or not, but it's shutting down this summer, sadly. Like, Ubisoft did have a banger here, but they just, Ubisoft it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait like 10 years from now when somebody brings back all these servers like they're doing with the old Xbox and GameCube.
Yeah. It really,
man.
It impresses me how far we've gone with the modding scene and the emulation scene and the servers.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm still playing Sega Dreamcast online right now through Flycast. I still play my favorite game, Phantasy Star Online. I still play that online.
Oh wow, I never got into that one.
Dude, it's awesome. Well, it's awesome if you can play online because you get a group of friends and then you can just go through and like now you can get so many power ups and money and stuff and just whatever because everyone's just hoarding all this stuff in this community, and so like people will just drop stuff to you, and like you can just play for hours on end. Like your character should never die, basically, and it's obviously a lot better than what it used to be back in the day when we'd be grinding for hours. But yeah, I was for a while. I was playing with this guy. We were dedicated players. Like Friday night, we'd show up on a server for Phantasy Star Online. We were playing for like months, and then we just kind of broke off and started doing other games, and I haven't gone back since. But one of these days, I'll probably fire it back up again, see who's in there, who's in the server.
As far as MMOs go, I was big in high school with EverQuest. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that one or not, but
I do. Yeah.
I lived on that game for like 5 some years. I swear. It was my favorite.
I never been into MMOs like that. It's pretty cool that some people can do that and build like a whole world into it. I lack the focus for it. I move around too much. I hop around games too much. This has been the most dedicated I've been right now, trying to beat like one game at a time. And I'm still I'll still play other games around. Like I was telling you, I'm playing Fear right now.
Yeah.
And I'm also playing like Crisis on the Switch in my house at night too. Like just I'll jumbo like random games and MMO for me. If I was trying to just stay on that one game like every night for months and months, I don't know. I move around too much.
Final Fantasy 14 is pretty streamlined. So
yeah,
and free to try.
Yeah, I haven't played any Final Fantasy since like 7.
Oh, really?
It's nothing against them or anything. I just like I said, some of these games, I know like once I start playing them, I have a chance to beat them, and that's what I'm trying to always do is trying to like finish these games and get on to these next games, and so. I'll play games like I just finished Batman Brave and the Bold on the Wii.
That's cool.
Mickey on the Wii. I've been finishing games like that. And so like for me to get into like any type of RPG or anything, like I said, that's mostly games for like at night. And I put maybe an hour into them and then go to bed. So it's not a lot,
Yeah. I got a rotation of games too, just to make sure things don't get too stale,
Yeah.
And they're usually different genres too, just to make sure I don't burn myself out.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, same. Yeah, even like I said, even with Fear right now, I like it, but sometimes I'll take a break and then I'll get back into like Simpsons Road Rage. Like I'm almost finished with that game. So, and I just beat Futurama finally. So that I would play that on the side too.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, I love it. Futurama's so good, man.
Yeah, I loved the show. I never played the game though. I'm gonna have to look that up and try that out.
Man, it can get pretty difficult in that game, and then sometimes the camera angles can get a little frustrating. But other than that, dude, it's a solid play.
Yeah. I've been playing, well, other than Final Fantasy 14, which is why I kind of recommended that. But
yeah,
that's just kind of like a daily thing for an hour or so, just to log in, say hi to friends, and do a dungeon or two. But
yeah, no, that's good. That's good. You have that kind of a relationship where you guys can all do that too.
Yeah, I got a good guild and everything, and buddies.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah, it's good. I like hearing that, man, because that's what makes it worth it. You know, it's just that camaraderie.
Yeah, and I've been playing a little bit of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League for PS5.
Yeah, I heard mixed reviews on that one.
Yeah, not a lot of people like it, but I think people are a little bit hard on it too. Like, it's no game of the year, that's for sure. But, you know, it's fun for, you know.
I'll pick it up later when it's like $5, like I did when I got Gotham Knights. And everybody hated on Gotham Knights too, and I actually like that one, so I've been playing Gotham Knights.
Well, hey, since you're a physical collector, they're coming out with the offline patch too, so you'll be able to play it forever if you want.
Oh, wow. That's good to know, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like the live service aspect, which it was barely a live service, to be honest, to begin with.
Okay.
So, I mean, the only thing that was like a live service was they added, like, you know, cosmetics in like a battle pass type deal every whatever. But every character, every map that they came out with was totally free as long as you had the game. So
just throwing the digital bones to people.
I just like the fact that you actually do as the game says. You know, how rare is that to do that in a video game? Like, you know, kill the Justice League.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And how would they go about it makes some narrative sense.
Yeah.
But I've been mixing those two up with, of course, my Dark Souls, going back to that for a little while. And then I was playing The Last of Us 2 finally for the PS4, the remastered version. But
okay.
And I've been enjoying that. But I've been trying to shake it up a bit. And sometimes I grow bored and add stuff or remove stuff.
Yeah, it's always about trying new stuff, you know, in between the stuff you're playing.
Yeah, I got my comfort games, and I got the games I want to beat, and the games I want to try out, and they all kind of conflict sometimes. But hey, I can always stream them too. So
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let's see. What would you say your favorite game or favorite couple games are of all time? What's your GOAT?
That answer is, because I get asked that a lot. And so right off the bat, it's going to be the 89 Batman movie game adaptation for the Game Boy.
Oh, yeah?
Because that was the first game we could finally afford when I was just stuck playing Tetris. Finally got a game we could afford as a family, and they got me Batman, and I absolutely love that game. I love the music. I love the platforming elements to it. I love that it's very similar to Super Mario Land, but you're basically Batman. You're like this little small Batman. And just like Super Mario Land, it has vehicle levels, so you can fly in a Batwing. You can take out Joker's balloons. Yeah, you can shoot down other ships. It's a really solid handheld game. But yeah, it will always be, and I've been asked a million times, like, everyone's like, hey Rob, what's your favorite game of all time? It'll always be Batman for the Game Boy. And then after that, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I love so many games. I could probably do like a favorite game from every system kind of a thing probably, but that would probably take a while.
Right. Well, you are into a lot of the things I am too sometimes, like with RoboCop especially, I noticed.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I also played through Rogue City twice now.
Yeah, Yeah, I did too. I went a second time in too. Yeah.
It's a blast to play. I love that game.
The beginning of it, just once you're entering that building and they start playing that music, oh my god, dude, you're like, oh my god, I'm RoboCop.
Yeah.
We waited so long. There's a RoboCop game from 2006, I think, that was on the GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2. Do you remember that one?
I'm not sure. The other RoboCop game I know of was like RoboCop 3 for the PC, but
yeah. So there's a first-person shooter RoboCop game that we got. I believe it's 2006, and it was a first-person shooter. It's terrible. It's a terrible game, but it's all we had back then. It was what Rogue City is to us today. Back then, we were like, oh my god, we finally have a first-person perspective as RoboCop.
Right.
I will say this: if you tweak the sensitivity and the aim, like the controls on RoboCop, it actually is not as bad as everyone says it is. I actually played through it. He moves just as clunky. The voice is terrible. It's probably the worst RoboCop voice I've ever heard. It kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger's like Terminator, but like if he was gargling salt water. That's what his voice sounds like. Like you'll pick up a power up, which is like your baby food, like from the movie.
Oh yeah.
And when you get it, he goes energy. It's so terrible. It doesn't sound anything like RoboCop. But yeah, that's what we had back then, and a lot of people don't know about that game. And it's funny that when Rogue City came out, people thought that this was like the first ever first-person version of RoboCop. It's actually the second, but clearly they did an amazing job. And like you said, playing through it a second time was definitely worth the reward.
Oh yeah, I liked it because, well, it reminded me of the nostalgia, I suppose. That movie, when it came out, it was rated R, and it was one of those movies that my folks allowed me to watch, despite it being R-rated.
Mine too. Yeah, mine too. My dad was like, let's watch this. And I was like, all right. And then RoboCop got blown to pieces in the beginning, and like all his fingers and everything's flying off, and I'm like...
I think I remember my mom covering my eyes during certain scenes, though, but...
I don't think so. My dad was probably drinking beer. He probably cared.
It was weird. Blood and gore, perfectly fine. But showing a nipple, nope. Can't be seeing that.
That's what they're like, shut it down. So, yeah, it was crazy. My parents let me see that too. But yeah, it's ingrained in my memory. And when the RoboCop cartoon came out, I had all the RoboCop toys, and the Robo One, it was called. It was like the police car, and then RoboCop had these like little caps that went in his back. The cap guns, and like you pressed the trigger on his back, and it looked like he was shooting.
Oh yeah,
I had all those toys. And, yeah, it was an awesome time back then for sure.
I liked all kinds of RoboCop stuff, and the Terminator, and of course Ninja Turtles. That was huge.
Oh yeah,
And Turtle Mania was real.
Oh yeah, Turtle Mania, Batmania, when Batman, that movie came out. That's why I was obsessed with getting that Game Boy game. Yeah, if you look around in this house, if you ever watch like the tour video, you'll see that like RoboCop and Batman, and I do love Ninja Turtles, but I specifically collect Donatello because he was always my favorite, and because he was like the tech guy, the nerd guy, and I like working on tech, so I just felt that was like my guy. Plus, it'd be too expensive, like to collect all four. Like I'd be broke if I had all the stuff I have right now, Donatello, but then times 3 more of those, I would be poor. I would have like that, and that's so with my Ghostbusters collection. I only collect Bill Murray, Venkman stuff because he's from Chicago, where I'm from, and he's like a hero of mine, and. So I specifically stick to Venkman because I would be broke if I had Egon and Winston and all of them. So
right.
So I got a little right. Yeah, that's what guides my collection. And Transformers, I'm all over the place, but there's a balance there too. I specifically Bumblebee's my favorite, and then I also like Optimus Prime, but I also like Soundwave and Blaster. I like the boombox guys. So there's a pretty good curated area of not too much. Because that's the thing, dude. That's what we collect all this stuff, and like you end up like living in this store, like I do. Like I feel like I just live in this retail shop.
Oh yeah, especially with my son. Like whenever he's into something, like Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, I'm literally looking at Five Nights at Freddy's stuff everywhere around here in my place now. It's staring at me all the time.
That's a creepy thing to have, I think, around you.
Yeah. When he was into the Mandalorian, we got him a bunch of that Grogu toys and stuffed animals. So Grogu was staring at me everywhere. And
that's crazy.
I don't buy a lot of toys, really, or collectibles so much. But when I do, it's usually something I know I really wanted or want.
Yeah, that's the same. This literally everything I've collected in here for the most part has been I've rebought all the toys I had from as a child, and then everything else is just bonus. But I do collect probably more toys and collectibles than I do anything else. I like games, but I like the other stuff more because it makes me feel good. It takes me back to a happier time when I'm surrounded by this stuff. It's a good aura, you know.
So. Right. I'd like to collect a lot of the games I used to have, but a lot of them are quite expensive now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some games out there where I'm like, oh man, I wish I had this back, and then I see the price on it, and I'm like, I don't care now.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just started collecting for TurboGrafx 16, and that's stupid, dude. That's like the dumbest thing I could have started right now, because that's the most like insane pricing right now of games out there. But I'm doing it. I've been collecting quite a bit, and there are some games where I definitely won't pay the money for. Like if it's $135 to $200 for that game, I found some people that make like reproductions, and they work flawlessly and they look amazing on the TV. So I'm good with that. As long as I can play the game. But I have been, for the most part, collecting actual, like, the real Hue cards, and I do have a couple of CD games that are legit, but I do have a lot of repro CD ones too, because, but I've been obsessed with the TurboGrafx. It was the system I missed out on when I was in high school, and I've always found it to be like this most like exotic, like it just seems so, I don't know. It's just so different, right, than what we were used to with Nintendo and Sega.
Yeah.
And so I've just been drawn to it. And then now that I've had the Turbo Express, the handheld. I've had that for a couple years. And so then I was like, I really want to start getting into having more games. And then I made the leap, and I think I'm up to about 50 games right now in total. So not too bad. Yeah. I've had to sell a lot of stuff. I sold a lot of things because that's another thing too. Is like I'm so frugal. Like I don't like, paying out of pocket. And if I'm surrounded by this stuff, and like if I don't need it, or like there's some games that are piling up that are worth some money, I just I'll sell them and make cash, and then buy the stuff I really want. And that's pretty much how like I make most of this stuff happen for the most part. Yeah.
I just love to collect for the Dreamcast, since I missed out on that whole time, really. I mean, I was mainly playing on the PlayStation and the later PS2 and stuff, and I missed out on the Dreamcast. And before I knew it was gone, and now a lot of the games are just, quite pricey. I think I might emulate, but
yeah. Boy, I mean, and it came and went so fast, the Dreamcast too. So a lot of people, I think, missed out on it, but luckily, we've made strides in technology, and you can mod your Dreamcast and just have like that GD whatever, and just play all the games you want, and have save states, or you can buy. And there's repro games for the Dreamcast, or that's the thing with the Dreamcast too, is that their security was terrible on it. You could just burn games and play games on the Dreamcast. So like, Yeah, so I do get wanting to own the original. Believe me, I do get that. But sometimes you just have to you can't. You gotta just take what you can get, and you only have so much time right now to play these games. You don't want to be spending the next 10, 15 years trying to acquire them when you could just be playing them now. Right? Yeah. That's me though. I don't want people to be like, this guy's an idiot.
Well, PS3 is about as retro as I go right now, at least. I have bought in a couple PS1 games, but I really wanted those, like Nightmare Creatures and Xena Warrior Princess for PS1. I felt I had to have those.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's mainly been PS3, not just because it's cheap, but because I really like that era too.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I do too. It's one of my favorites, so... Yeah, Nightmare Creatures. Oh, God. I was obsessed with having that game when I was younger. I still love it, even though it took me a while. I replayed it, I think 5 or 6 months ago, I replayed it, and it took me a while to get used to the clunky, like, backing up was actually moving. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then once I got it, then it comes back to you, like muscle memory, and then I was just cruising around.
Yeah, you get so used to these modern conveniences of being able to free move the camera and the character. You begin to get a little spoiled.
You do. Then you go back to these games and you're like, my God, man.
I don't remember it like this, but... But PS3 has been fun. I got...
Good, man. Here.
Yeah. And I got to flex a little, and people do seem to like collection videos, like showing off your collection. So I might do more of that on this channel too. Who knows? I'll find a niche somewhere.
Yeah, do whatever works.
Yeah. So I've been collecting new ones too. It just depends. Like if I see a game coming out that I know I want day one, I'll just buy it day one regardless, whether I play it right away or not.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then I'm kind of collected out of PS4, but I do have a list of games that I feel if I got them all, I'd be happy. You know?
Okay.
Then I could focus on the future.
Yeah.
And I'm also working up on saving up for that PSVR 2.
Oh yeah, I'm not ready for VR, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just something I always wanted to have as a kid. Like, you know, we never dreamed that games would be like this, really, you know? N64 came out and we're like, it's not going to get much better than this, man. You know?
Yeah, it's cool. I've tried it, but I don't know, man. I'm just not ready for it. I feel like VR is just too much for me. It's awesome though. I do like seeing it. I do like seeing where it's going, but I can't. I don't want to. I don't know. I just can't. I don't want to be put in that situation where I'm just in this home and then we're starting to turn into like Ready Player One, where we're just on treadmills and.
Right.
I don't know.
I worry about the future in that respect a little bit. Yeah. I think we're a little bit too connected and, you know.
Yeah, I got to break free, man.
Got to break free. But that's why I go out a lot and go to concerts and stuff.
I like to travel. I like to get out and see the world.
Yeah. So... It's been
what else you got? We're going to wrap it up here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're actually we're like an hour and a half over what we said we were going to do, but it's just
it's all right.
It's just how it goes, though. Like I enjoy talking games and stuff, you know, and nostalgia and memory berries.
We would do this probably like all night if we wanted to, for sure.
Yeah. So. I do super appreciate you having you on, you know. It's
thank you. No, thank you. I'm very appreciative you asked me. Like I was telling the guys on the show last night, I love doing these because I love talking to people and just I'm always honored and humbled to be asked. Like it's like a compliment from people when they say you want to be on our show. Like absolutely, I'll never tire of it for sure. It's one of those things. Never take advantage and never stop appreciating it. So
for me, I'm super psyched. Like I'm like, wow, he actually said yes. I figured, what's the worst that can happen? He said no. Like, I'm like, I followed this guy for a few years now, and I like his content that he gives and his energy, and I'm like, man, if I could have anybody on this show, it'd be Retro Rob, So
I appreciate it, man. I would never say no, man. And like I said, not even because we've known each other for as long. Even if I'd only known you for a few weeks, man, I would still never say no, man. I just think it's kind of never be too big for somebody, man. And especially a channel like you that's still, you're trying to grow and trying to get out there. And like, it's crappy for people to just be like, I got better stuff to do,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have better stuff to do, man. You're worth my time, so.
Oh, well, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be interviewing DSP and Asmongold. No.
You never know, dude.
Never know, right?
The future's wide open, man.
Yeah.
It's wide open. And you're in control, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thanks for coming on, and the technical difficulties aside, I think it went rather well.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm seeing it on the screen on my phone. It looks good. And I can't see you on the computer, so every once in a while I glance over at the phone to see your face. But all I see right now are just two squares chasing each other.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Like, I think it's OBS because it's using my camera. So
I'm glad I was the first. And then I'll come back on again, and before you know it, this will be you'll have regular guests, and this is all just the beginning, man. Don't apologize, man. You're doing great.
Well, you're always more than welcome, and
thank you.
And
where I'll be.
And I wish you luck with your acting and everything. You seem very comfortable in front of the camera, and everything, and on stage, I think I could see it. I'm just saying.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're friends with me on Instagram. I'll be posting stuff on there, some updates and video, and obviously like costume nights and stuff like that. It's gonna be a fun journey. So people that want to check it out, I'll be posting stuff. So
awesome, and I will of course hype and clip what I can from this, and
Yeah, whatever you need, man. Yeah, yep.
I mean. It's big to me. Like I was super nervous, so.
Don't clip it or use like certain words where it makes me say something like, I hate Foxx Psycher, and I'm,
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that to you.
I'm like, dang it, man. I trusted you.
This guy was.
You make a whole video where it just says like, I hate modern video games. Oh, Retro Rob's an idiot, man.
I don't think I'd ever have anybody who thinks that way about modern games, but I mean, I don't want to be like part of the gaming is dying crowd, so.
Right. I gotcha. No, I gotcha.
But, yeah, unless if there's another question you'd like to ask, I mean, I could let you go and,
Yeah, no, this has been great, man. I really appreciate it. I just was cutting it short. I'm just going to get back in the house here. My wife and I started getting her on certain TV shows to watch because she's never watched a lot of TV growing up. And so right now we're watching King of Queens. so every night we watch like 2 episodes together, and then I usually go play like the Switch or something. So.
Yeah, I used to watch that sometimes when it was on TV when nothing else was on. It's funny. It's got its moments.
Sitcoms, dude. I love sitcoms. They're so hokey, but they're so comforting at the same time.
Well, that'll have to be a topic for when you come back sometime.
Sure. Yeah, we talk favorite sitcoms.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah, whatever you want, brother. I'm always around, man.
Awesome. I super appreciate it for the 100th time, and well, I guess I'll cut off the stream before I keep jibber jabbering on you. But
okay. Yeah. Thanks again. Thanks everyone that watched, and make sure you sub to this guy. So.
Please do. Thank you, Retro Rob.